What is up, everybody? It is Lawrence again from My Squeakers, and today we have the Ultraboost DNA done in wool. So this is a sneaker I actually wanted a really long time ago. The Ultraboost wool, or gray wool, actually released in 2015. So this is an Ultraboost 1.0 pattern, and these were actually not easy to get at the time. And 2015, Boost was pretty much non-existent unless you wanted to pay resale. And so this is a one-for-one remake of the Ultraboost Gray Wool 1.0. And the best part, it's $180, the same price as any other Ultraboost. So this is kind of like my return to the Ultraboost, which is kind of weird because the Ultraboost was one of the most coveted shoes for many, many years, really hard to get. All the collabs sold out, and then all of a sudden, every single hypebeast teenager decided to get a pair. And that's when I decided to no longer wear them, not because they weren't comfortable, but because I just really didn't, I don't know, like there was something about them that just screamed teenager at that point, where I was trying to wear them for hype. But in all honesty, to me, these were just more comfortable sneakers because I didn't really like the way they looked that much. Once they released the 2, 3, and 4 versions, actually the 2s were great. The 3 and the 4s were not that my favorite. And then the 19s and 20s were not that great either. But with that said, finally, these are in my hand with wool knit, and I am happy about them, except for one thing, but I'll get into the review of the sneaker and tell you what that one thing is. So let's start with the upper like we always do. The upper is made out of knit, so it is still a prime knit, but it's done with wool instead of, I don't actually know what they use, but they normally use some other type of stretchy textile. And while this is still stretchy knit, it is made out of wool. It definitely has perforations in the front, just like any other one. And there are definitely reinforced areas closer to the toe area, like here and here, just because you need to have a little abrasion resistance in those areas. And you can see that in the front over here. The knit itself, I think, is beautiful. It is this very subtle, almost like dark gray, almost black type of color with a pretty nice darker kind of mid-gray, and I'm a huge fan of the knit. You have a nice little one booty construction, and as you move towards the back, you have this nice little kind of mesh. I wish it were a little more perforated, but it's not fully. And then on the tongue, you have some of that same material with Adidas logo. Going to the lacing system, you have your typical flat style lacing system for the Ultraboost, and it has a cage, and that cage is actually done opaquely. So instead of having that transparent, almost like milky color in some of the future iterations, this harkens back to the DNA and the OG versions in the 1 and 2, where you actually have a full non-see-through cage, which I actually like a lot more. Then go into the Ultraboost heel cup, which is one of the namesakes of the sneaker. On the back, you have Ultraboost printed right there. The back of the sneaker, you have your typical mesh that I was talking about earlier, and then the wrapping of the heel cup goes to the back of there as well. Then on the midsole, you have your most typical, if you don't know this, really, really comfortable Boost midsole. And finally on the bottom, you have your typical Continental stretch web Ultraboost patterning on the bottom, which we've seen over the years. So what are my thoughts on this sneaker? I don't think there's much to say. It's simple, it's clean, it's made out of wool, and it's an Ultraboost, so it's super comfortable. And I would just say that the wool doesn't really add much in terms of comfort. I don't think it's better than your typical knit on the Ultraboost, but I do think it feels softer, and I just like the fact that it is wool. And it actually might be a little less stretchy now that I'm thinking about it, but for the most part, I can't tell the difference. The looks of the sneaker, I like it a lot. I really don't want anything kind of flashy on this specific pair. I just like the wool being kind of a little bit kind of like thread-like and more natural, and you can actually see the wool hairs all throughout. So I really just kind of like the natural look of the sneaker, which allows it to be a little more fun, and no one's really going to notice unless you look it up close, but it is what it is. I like it. And finally, in terms of sizing, I actually went true to size here, and I'm about to bring them back to the store to get a half size up. And the reason for that is there's actually like a pretty hard area that is in the front over here of the sneaker, where the toe is, and that's obviously to help with abrasion of the knit. Normally, a lot of companies put fuse here, but they actually put a pretty hard plate over here, and I can feel it on my little toe. And I walked around for a bit, and I feel like I'm probably better off if I get a larger size, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that actually as soon as I finish this video and take some pictures. But that's it, guys. If you have any questions about the wool Ultraboost, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, squeak all over that subscribe button. And until next time, this is the Ultraboost done in wool. Peace.